Hello everyone, this is Kevin T. Rodriguez, film critic of iCritic.net, and we are currently in McDonald's. And why are we in McDonald's? Well, I wanted to restart the video review series because that's technically my day job. I'm a film critic, that's what I do, and I've decided to do a video review to start with the founder. And what better way to review the founder than at an actual McDonald's? So, join me, if you will, for burgers and movie talk. And let me make sure they didn't put any onions on this. Yes, thank goodness for the special order. So what is The Founder? Well, The Founder is a 2016 biographical film starring Michael Keaton as Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, hence you can see why we're at the McDonald's. It was directed by John Lee Hancock, who directed The Blind Side, Saving Mr. Banks, and The Rookie, lots of family films like that. Although I think this one is definitely a little bit better than a couple of the other ones he directed. And the movie follows Kroc from his humble beginnings when he was a salesman of milkshake makers to being the CEO of a multi-million-dollar, soon multi-billion-dollar corporation that serves approximately 1% of the population, if stats are to be believed. Even though that might sound like a movie that's about the formation of McDonald's, it really is not. It deals with the formation of McDonald's in some way, but in many other aspects, and in all other aspects, really, it's about Ray Kroc. See, when the movie begins, Ray Kroc is simply a ambitious salesman. He wants his piece of the American dream, and he does what he can to get it. You see that he had several failed business ventures, and his wife, while frustrated, still supports him, even though when he comes in with this idea to franchise this restaurant he comes across called McDonald's, she's not entirely thrilled with the idea. But he assures her this could be the big one. This could be the American dream. But first he needs to make a deal with the people who own the McDonald's restaurant, Dick and Mac McDonald. And he does so, and while the relationship starts out pretty good at first, it eventually starts to deteriorate. Ray wants to expand fast. They're okay with being minor successes. He wants to cut costs by replacing real ice cream with powdered milkshakes, which they are opposed to. For the record, I want to point out that McDonald's does put real ice cream in their milkshakes again, or whatever real is considered these days. Why, they even turned down an offer from him to put Coca-Cola on the signs to basically have sponsorship, which they refuse. They don't want to be corporate sellouts. But despite these limitations, Ray continues to build McDonald's franchise. He continues to open up new restaurants, and he pushes for family attitude, cleanliness, and quality food. In fact, many of the early franchises, he pretty much decides, hey, I'm going to have husband and wives manage the places so that it has a family atmosphere. All while, interestingly, his own family life is deteriorating, and you're seeing that his business success, even though it's embracing the family values for the public image, he's not embracing the family values for business ethics, because that's not what makes money. And it was midway through when he started actually expanding on McDonald's, where I realized the movie was not about McDonald's, but it was about how this man, who I'm not sure if the movie actually commits him being a good man at the start, but they at least show him as being an honorable man. An honorable man who works hard and tries his best, and in theory should be rewarded for trying his best. I mean, some of us work really hard and we get nowhere, and he was getting nowhere, and he finally hit upon something. But once he was in that position to actually make money, he realized that to keep making money and to expand the way he wanted to, he had to be a little bit more ruthless. There's a pretty sad line in here when Ray is talking to, I believe it's Mac McDonald, over the phone, and when talking about the business ethics, he's saying, hey, you know what, if one of my competitors was drowning in a lake, I would put a hose in his mouth to ensure that I survived. Can you do the same? This is the kind of business ethics that the McDonald brothers just did not have, and that's why their idea would have never actually grown if they had been left in charge. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I guess you can debate that, I don't know. But the bottom line, Ray was business savvy enough to know what he needed to do to get ahead, including buying the land. It's also interesting how in the middle of the movie he starts twisting some of the original concepts, like how he portrays like, this was where I got the idea of McDonald's, this is why I picked McDonald's, this is where the idea of the golden arches came from. Ideas that he did not have, but he claimed as his own. And while this particular McDonald's does not have that plaque, it should be noted that most McDonald's you go to that do have the plaques credit Ray Kroc with the creation of the arches and the name and everything. Again, though, this isn't a movie about McDonald's. This is about Ray Kroc. And basically, this is a movie where we see someone we want to succeed But then the more he succeeds, the more we wish he wouldn't succeed because we see him losing his humanity along the way. Interesting contrast is Lee Hancock's previous film, Saving Mr. Banks, where the author Mary Poppins was reluctant to sell her creation because she felt like she'd be selling her soul. Ray Kroc has no issue selling his soul in pursuit of success. There's a small downside to the film. It's that the side characters aren't really developed that well. I mean, except for Ray and Dick and Mac, most of the characters seem more like cogs in the machine or steps in Ray Kroc's, eventual ascension to dominance in the world. On the other hand, that's probably kind of fitting considering the man really didn't care to have any friends and success really was his motivating factor, so that's what it would focus on. The thing that is pretty clear is that Ray obviously had vision and he imagined this and was able to pull it off, and now McDonald's Railworth is an American icon. The Golden Arches are very popular. In fact, at one point in the movie he says, you have church cross, American flag, Golden Arches. And that's an interesting comment to make because in the movie Super Size Me, when Morgan Spurlock shows a bunch of pictures to kids of people and who they are, not a single kid could recognize Jesus, but every single one of them recognized Ronald McDonald. There's some food for thought. Of the performances, Michael Keaton is obviously the standout performance, but I also do have a soft spot in my heart for Nick Offerman and John Carroll Lynch as the McDonald brothers, who spend most of the time actually arguing with him. Laura Dern is in this as Ray's wife, but she's kind of passive-aggressive. There are moments where you can tell she wants to support her husband, but otherwise we feel kind of frustrated with her because she's not getting the attention or support back that she's giving him. But probably the best scene in the movie, I have to admit, is when the McDonald brothers are sharing their story how they came up with the speedy service system that would allow the burgers to be made at a fast pace, and basically how they went over and over and over it until it was like a symphony playing. Like, they were conductors conducting the orchestra, which in this case were the fast food workers, and how they perfected their technique. A technique that many, many, many restaurants use these days, and, well, we're all eating it now. On a grade scale, I give The Founder 4 stars out of 5. Very well acted, very entertaining, very fascinating. Not so much a story about McDonald's, but about a human being who strived for success in life, got it, but lost his humanity along the way. That's and even though the movie isn't set as a tragedy, that's more or less what it is. Although, he was right. The Golden Arches became just as recognizable as the church cross or the American flag. And that's our review of The Founder. Did you see it? Did you enjoy it? Not like it? I'd like to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. As for me, I'm going to finish eating my lunch.